Hey friends, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. Hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And what's that? Yes, welcome back to Chelsea News. Of course, the daily series, every single bloody day, where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, asking for yours. And there's lots to talk about, mate. There really is. Really is, mate. So thank you for joining me. Transfers, Chelsea board member, transfers. Lots to get into. Settle in, get comfortable. Thank you for liking the video. That's kind of you, mate. Takes a click. Why not? And thank you for subscribing. Hey, only if you want to, man. But should you choose to do so, make sure you hit that all-important bell notifications icon. Right, so we are going to be citing an article from transfer guru Fabrizio Romano on The Guardian. Also, co-written by Jacob Steinberg, notorious Chelsea hater and journalist. So it's going to be good. Some interesting stuff in there. Loads of reports following, stuff about Jules Koundé. We know. Until I see him holding up a Chelsea shirt, it's unlikely that I spend much time talking to you about this defender that will almost certainly become a blue very, very soon. Chelsea are reportedly exploring an option of adding an ex-player to their new look board. So say Cy Phillips, but that's where the news is coming from. I quite like this. People are talking about, right, what ex-Chelsea players could go on the board. You're thinking of, maybe the generation of players from the 90s. I saw shouts for Michael Ballack, which would be an interesting one. I kind of like that. It would be a new look board, less of the Bruce Bucks knocking about, more of the sort of new age Chelsea. Really, really important. By the way, if you haven't seen my video updates, I suppose it is a video update. Sounds like I really am a boomer trying out this YouTube thing. Guys, may I recommend you try watching my video updates on Chelsea stuff. If you watched my upload yesterday, I reflected on Chelsea, Boehly and Clearlake's statement about how they're going to invest in infrastructure at Chelsea. Changes of how Chelsea's run and works, and I guess putting a ex-player on the board would constitute another infrastructure change that could be positive. So we like that. Before I jump into this article, which talks about all the exciting stuff like attackers, right? We all like attackers being linked to your football club. That's the sexy and exciting stuff, of course. Bien sûr, mon ami. But a quick update on Marcos Alonso runs down the wing for me and then out of Stamford Bridge and reportedly to Barcelona. I'm just looking for this update from Big Fab Romano. I can't find it, but apparently he's already got this agreement with Barcelona and Chelsea are willing to sell him. They've agreed that he can go this summer, Marcos Alonso. I don't know why I can't find that. And fair enough. I think we've all accepted this. Chelsea will look for reinforcement. I think at least one reinforcement in terms of a wing-back cover. Dujon Sterling will be looked at yet again in pre-season by current manager Thomas Tuchel. He might give him more of a look in. Of course, Ivan Perisic is pretty much signed for Tottenham Hotspur now. I think they're paying him I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, 180k a week, and you would imagine he'd start for Conte. So he's going to choose that over a rotational wing-back option at Chelsea, and let's be real, because of that, paid a lot less. Seemingly, Daniel Levy and Tottenham going all in on Antonio Conte, and to be honest, man, it's pretty smart. I do worry as a Chelsea fan about what's going on with Tottenham. Anyway, let's jump into this article by Steiny and Romano. Inter hold talks over possible return for Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea. Talks scheduled with striker's lawyer, but deal is complicated, understandably. Player wanting to hear how Chelsea view his future. This story has fluctuated. In the matter of weeks and days, we've heard of, he wants to make it work. He's going to have a mega pre-season. His dream is to make it work at Chelsea. He's going to sit down with Thomas Tuchel and be like, look, baby, don't think we'll call him baby. How can we make this work, man? Don't think we'll call him man either. coach. How can we make this work? And suddenly we're hearing, no, you know what? He sacked all that off. He fancies going back to Inter. And before I read into this, I just want to say, I thought earlier, do you know what I can imagine being I'm going to tweet this later. This is how much of a thought this is of my head. So, yeah. I think Inter should sign Hakim Ziyech. There, I said it. I think he's got that link up. He loves Lukaku. They're best mates or whatever. They got that link up. They might get it for a cheap deal. Maybe they'll, whatever. With Chelsea, then we might do a deal for both players. And then they could sell other players. And it would seem like a great level for Ziyech. And maybe he could absolutely cook. It's still, Inter will be a higher level than Ajax. Inter can challenge for Scudettos if, in a title race this season after winning the title last season. I just think it's a cool move. I like Ziyech. I'm not, shunning him. I'm just spitballing here. Right, let's read. Internacional are due to hold talks with Romelu Lukaku's lawyer. Pause. And by the way, it's his lawyer because he sacked his agent and now it's all lawyer. He's getting serious. He's doing it all for a lawyer. On Tuesday, boy, that's today, to explore a possible return of the club to the club for the striker. Lukaku has endured a difficult first season back at Chelsea. Pause. Yes, for strategic, tactical reasons, form reasons, but chiefly the effing interview reason. Just want to get that out there. And would like to go back to Inter, but a deal would be complicated given the Premier League club paid £97.5 million. Second highest transfer fee for a Premier League player ever after Jack Grealish, who of course only cost 2.5 million more. Todd Boehly's going to be getting his feet under the table, like you'd imagine this here. Chelsea. I can't. Okay. Chelsea. Wow. What? You spent how much? He's not playing. We have to sell him for how much? Jeez. So yeah, it's going to be tricky for the new owner. Also, I do have questions with Thomas Tuchel. I love him. I want him to stay. I want him to be backed. But I feel like his melody has changed over the last 12 months regarding Lukaku and etc., etc. Inter have not yet held talks with Chelsea regarding a formula that could lead to a transfer, with a loan being the only realistic possibility from the Italian's club perspective. Financial reasons, I suppose. Lukaku's representatives intend to speak to Chelsea soon to understand on how they value his future. Lukaku scored 64 goals in 95 games for Inter, which is ridiculously good, playing a major part in their 2021 Serie A title success, but has been unable to replicate that form at Chelsea. Partially his fault, partially not his fault, let's be fair. He started 16 Premier League games and ended the campaign with 15 goals in 44 appearances. Not good. 44 appearances, many of them off the bench. I actually think his goals to minutes aren't as bad as maybe one would assume. Before we move on to the new forwards here, Inter fans would have to be convinced to take him back because they don't want him back, man. I mean, if he doesn't, maybe they're saying a loan, maybe he comes on loan, scores a bunch of goals, starts kissing the badge again, and they win the title again. They'll be like, you know what? In 3 seasons, we've won the title twice, and both times we had Romelu Lukaku. We forgive you. Come home. Sign the permanent deal. It'll be 30 then. Don't know how much that deal will be worth. But maybe. Stuff could happen like that. So let's get to the juicy stuff. Thomas Tuchel wants new forwards, ding, 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 and is monitoring Raheem Sterling, who has a year remaining on his current deal at Manchester City. So, we've done a video on Raheem Sterling. Do feel free to go back and check that out. We pull up his scouting report from fbref.com. Yeah, that's right. I wondered if I said that right. That's right, that's a website. And yeah, dribbling, carries into the box, high turnovers, high pressures in the final third. And if there's one thing we know about the Chelsea manager, Big Tommy Tuchel, he loves those high turnovers. So yeah, Raz Sterling, maybe. There is interest too in Christopher Nkunku, although it would be hard to persuade RB Leipzig to sell. Apparently also, Christopher Nkunku has been talking to Newcastle, or is not convinced by Newcastle. This is where we're at, by the way now, people. That big, Newcastle United will just buy big players and they'll challenge soon. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. This is where we are. Yes, they want to put him on a new deal, RB Leipzig, Christopher Nkunku, and give him a buyout clause. Similar to what they did to Timo Werner, similar to then, and Chelsea triggered that buyout clause from RB Leipzig, and there's a lot of recurring narratives and themes here. Lille's Jonathan David, which is interesting that Chelsea are looking at the Canadian striker that plays in Ligue 1 for Lille. Scores a lot of goals. I don't know if he's appropriate for Chelsea, but then again, I don't know anything anymore. So there we go. Benfica's Darwin Núñez, which of course we've done a video on as well, an insane scoring record, but I have seen, and I'm sure many of you have seen as well, and I hate it when people do this, but those fail comps on social media, I think it's pointless. You're usually a 13-year-old FIFA player that's got nothing better to do with your time and spread negativity and hate. But despite that, I watched 30 seconds of one of them, and there were some poor touches in there. So, a little bit worried. You look at the goal return in Liga NOS, the Nando's league, mate, and you go, wow, loads of goals in Portugal's league, but I don't know about the technical ability. Very young, amazing amount of goals, though. But then again, Timo Werner was very young, amazing amount of goals. I'm just scared. Again, I don't know anything anymore. But Benfica's Darwin Núñez could be a very exciting acquisition for a young striker who's currently used to just banging goals. And of course, Barcelona's Ousmane Dembele, who is out of contract. Ousmane Dembele, we've spoken about at length. Some publications, websites, reports are suggesting that Chelsea are looking like a likely target for Ousmane Dembele now to reunite with bestie Thomas Tuchel. They love each other. It'll be an exciting acquisition for the Chelsea, of course. And yeah, man, I've gauged the response from Chelsea fans. Many of you guys really like the idea of Ousmane Dembele. He's 25, of course, very high profile. Why not? And there's other targets. Tuchel would love to sign Robert Lewandowski, but the Bayern Munich striker wants to join Barcelona. Doesn't surprise me. He's wanted to go to one of the La Liga giants for a long time. And he probably is a bit scared of the Premier League. I don't mean that because he's not good. He's amazing. He should have won the Ballon d'Or the year they cancelled it. He'll probably be second in the Ballon d'Or this year behind Karim Benzema. But he probably also looks at Lukaku, scored a lot of goals, comes to the Premier League, doesn't score a lot of goals. He probably will. He'll know all about Timo Werner ripping up the Bundesliga, scoring loads of goals, and then coming to the Premier League and not scoring loads of goals. And he'll know the Premier League's fast and physical. He'll know that he's 34 years old, and he'll think, I prefer Barcelona. A big team in a weaker league. Fair play. I can't even hate on that for him. I get it, Let's read on. So let's talk back, circle back onto Romelu. Inter's chief executive, Giuseppe Marotta, who was asked on Monday about potential moves for both Lukaku and Paulo Dybala, who is leaving Juventus at the end of the season. From our side, there is no anxiety. We don't have to do anything in a hasty way. The hope is Dybala can play with us. So Dybala would be a free transfer for Inter from Juve. Marotta said he would be disappointed that even Perisic is leaving to join Tottenham. He says there is regret, but he wanted to try a new experience in the Premier League. We were not in a position to make better offers. He's getting paid a shed ton of money by Tottenham Hotspur, and we can't touch that. No comment on Romelu Lukaku there, which I thought there might be. So this is where we're at, man. I actually quite enjoyed that article. We'll see what happens with Romelu Lukaku. I think there probably will be sad, man, because he can be great, but I think there will be a collective sigh of relief if Lukaku goes back to Inter in such a way that we don't have our pants so fully pulled down. I mean, they're going to be pulled down a bit. You're going to see a lot of crack, but not the full buttocks exposed. And that's all we can hope for. Let me know what you think, though. Comment down below. Drop a like. Subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.